Well, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Sunday's edition of Scoreline. My name is Robinson Okenya. Yes, the picture on your screen is all about the 2025 edition of the Magical Kenya Open happening here at Muthaiga. Of course, a number of golfers trying to see whether they can emerge as the winners of this prestigious event in Africa. Remember, the winner gets to walk away with 54.9 million 54.9 million shillings. So we'll be waiting at the end of the day to see who takes over as the winner of this event and goes into the history books amongst the winners. Later in the show, we'll be speaking to some of the partners of this event. We get to hear from them how the tournament has been so far. Have they, enjoyed the tournament that we've had on ground here? But before we move further into the conversation, I want to begin with the tournament director, that is Mr. Patrick Obath. I had a conversation with him yesterday, and he says that, of course, they are happy with the way the tournament has been. And yesterday, ABSA had beat a pro competition. And, of course, he said that that is one way of growing the game. So let's listen to what Mr. Obath had to say. And then we get into a conversation with one of the directors from ABSA Bank.
I think we've had a very good run this year. The event itself has gone around without any hiccups. Good turnout, and even the village last night on Friday and Saturday are all very good. So we've had a really, really good run with the event.
Yes, Kenyans not making the cut.
A bit sad, but not unexpected. We've had, over the last 10-15 years, we've had very few Kenyans making the cut when it was in the Challenge Tour and even when it was in the main tour, as we are now. We have had very few Kenyans making the cut, and I think we just need to change the game completely with our Kenyans so that we have better prepared players who are at least not just about making the cut, but making a difference. I don't like referring to players making the cut because that is setting a bar that is too low. I believe they should be looking at getting to a top 10, and then they prepare themselves mentally and physically and everything for a top 10 attack. And if they do that one, then wherever they end up will be much, much better than thinking about making the cut.
Yeah. Do you feel like probably you should have more challenges before players qualify, Kenyan players qualify for Kenya Open?
We've had the Safari Tour over the last 4 or 5 years, and the impact has not been any different. My belief is that the new generation of players, the young players who are doing this event, which is called Beat the Pro, that is the next generation that is really going to make a difference here. You find those young people, they're at handicap between 0 and about 8, and they're all under 18. Those are the people who I believe, are going to make a good charge in terms of winning the Kenya Open.
Yeah. Yes, and so far, what can you say about what you've seen from Beat the Pro?
I think it's the first time we're bringing it here. I've seen it in about 2 other countries, and I thought it's a great thing to bring here to motivate the young people to come in. And what we've seen is very good, and one of the youngsters already has won some money by beating the pro. In fact, thanks to ABSA, they're getting an account open for them for 50,000 shillings already in the account.
That is the Kenya Open tournament director, Patrick Obath, speaking on how the tournament has been so far. But remember, the tournament comes to an end today, and so far on top of the leaderboard is Parry John, who has played at the moment 15 under, followed by Jacques from South Africa, who's also played 15 under. So we'll be waiting to see between the two who goes home as the winner of this year's edition of the Magical Kenya Open. Later on in a bit, we'll also get to hear from the two what they had to say about how yesterday was. But before we do that, I want to speak to Mr. Moses Mudhui from ABSA Bank. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Very good, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yes, good to have you here. Have you enjoyed the golf that is on display?
Look, I think it's been a wonderful last 4 days. And we've got the best of the players around the world here at Muthaiga for Magical Kenya Open presented by ABSA. I think what's more interesting is there's a lifestyle around this event as well. You know, yesterday at the village, the small business people, the entrepreneurs, the caddies, and just the entire community who are here to experience just beyond the golf swing, what else that there is. So ABSA has been really proud to be part of this event, and we're waiting to see photo finish this afternoon.
It might go. Oh, it might go to a. It might go to a playoff later on.
And we hope so, because it just makes it more exciting. You've got the top 6, between 15 under, as you said, to 10 under. You've got the top 3 between 15 under and 13 under, and that's the best cut in the last few years. Coming for the final 9 holes this afternoon, you'll see the top 3 in a very tight range. And as they pass the 13th and go around to come to the 18th, we hope that there's a final playoff at the end of it. But really excited to see what's happening with Muthaiga this afternoon.
Moses, there is something that I wanted to talk about. As ABSA, you've put in almost 60 million into this year's edition of Kenya Open. But what should be done by the corporates in the country to make sure that, there is growth of this sport? Yesterday, as we were taking a look at the kids play the pros, and the kids played really well. What should we do to ensure that this sport grows to the levels that we want it to be?
First of all, to congratulate the kids who beat the pro. And you saw top kids beating the pro on the 13th. I think it's about all of us as corporates in the country coming together to make this a round-the-clock between February to next year, February experience for Kenyan pros and Kenyan golfers. Obviously, I think every corporate sponsor has been behind the pros and behind different events, but there's real value to pull our resources together to make sure that our Kenyan pros are experiencing the best of golf throughout the year. Obviously, we've done that previously. I think there's big opportunity there because this tournament happens for 4 days. And we want to hope to see more Kenyans participating, make it on the Sunday, and a Kenyan winner. I mean, the top winner is going to take away close to 55 million shillings. Some of that prize money should remain within the continent, within the Kenyan soil. So as corporates, and ABSA is very committed in this conversation, and obviously working with various institutions and federations, is how do we keep golf a 24/7 engagement for the Kenyan pros as we lead up to the next year's Magical Kenya Open.
Are we doing enough for the pros that we have around?
I think when you look at the efforts that each corporate is putting, when you look at what ABSA is doing, obviously today is not the end of the golf sponsorship from us. We intend to have various engagements around the year. You're seeing other corporates out there. I mean, there's a golfing tournament almost every weekend. And yes, I do think separately, all of us are doing quite some adequate sponsorships and support. There is opportunity for more collaboration. As corporates, yes, we compete for profits, but we can collaborate for some of these purposeful engagements. And I think, yes, there's more opportunity here, and we're looking into that here.
Yes, I'm sure you were gutted when you saw that no Kenyan made the cut.
Of course you are. I mean, this is Kenyan soil. But we should never forget this event is also being broadcast across 500 million homes globally. So what it does to the brand Kenya, sports tourism, almost like 1 billion eyeballs looking at us for 4 days, as a much bigger value to the country in terms of the benefit this tournament has. And yes, you're right. We'd like to see one of us from the home soil making it on the Sunday, and we hope for the best for the future tournaments. Yeah.
And before I let you go, 15 years that you've had this partnership with the Magical Kenya Open, what does the future hold?
It's been strength to strength. Remember, ABSA started sponsoring this tournament about 14 years ago, from a small tournament in the corner of our country to what is now on the global stage. And every year, we've been part of seeing its successes, lessons along the way, and we remain open for future engagements. I think ABSA remains committed in sports, not just in golf. I know yesterday we were in Eldoret with ABSA, Sirikwa Classic, a fantastic athletics event. We have a robust athletics calendar that we support. And golf doesn't stop with Magical Kenya Open. There's quite a lot more that we do. So the commitment of the brand in the sphere of sports in the country is only but about to elevate itself.
Before, finally, who are you rooting for between Jacques, the South African, and Parry John?
Look, Parry John, with 2 ahead as they turn to the final 9. Obviously, I think we wait to see the top 2. Either one, I think, will celebrate the inspiration they've brought to the country. Let's see who walks away with the prize. But I think either way, it's such a tight race at this point. It's anyone's win. And so we can only just follow them and, get to see what comes out of the 18th.
Well, thank you very much, Moses. I appreciate for your time. Yes, we'll be waiting to see between the two guys that are on top of the leaderboard who comes out as the winner. So let's listen in to what John Perry had to say about his performance yesterday. And he said, rather, aside from that, he also says that he's going to be aggressive this afternoon.
I put myself in position. I didn't take... When I look back, when I had a lot of wedges, it was like I was just over the back or just... Maybe I went a bit too aggressive and not give myself more like 15, 20 footers. But when there's not many birdie chances, you sort of, when you get a wedge, you want to try and get one in close. And then I didn't really hold anything either, so... But I'm pretty happy the way I played.
How tough was the wind making things?
Yeah, even just hitting wedges, like just a simple wedge, like sometimes it goes through the wind, into wind, and then even downwind it gets knocked out the sky and goes nowhere. So it's a little bit of guesswork, but hopefully I can do a bit better tomorrow.
And when you have a day like that where, not really holding anything, how do you react to that? Do you do some work on the green, or what's the reaction?
Funny enough, it was the best I felt like I putted, as in the stroke. I didn't feel very good like the first day, but I held everything. So, and I actually think the pace and the putts in now, 2-3 putts, were pretty good from long distance. So I just think I'll just go with what I've got tomorrow and just try and hold putts. That's the best thing I can do. And
you will be in the final pairing, trailing by 1 as it stands. Give us the mindset. What's it going to be?
I think more of the same. I'm playing the course quite aggressive anyway. I'm hitting a lot of drivers, so...
Well, that is John Perry speaking after yesterday's completion of round 3 today. Of course, he's on top of the leaderboard as we speak, but we'll be waiting to see how he performs. Now, he's the closest rival and competitor in this tournament is Jacques Krowowski, and he also says that he's going to try and make sure that he plays well so that he can win this year's tournament.
Come on, man. What a round of golf you put together there to put yourself right in it. Probably be in the final group tomorrow. By the looks of it, great round of 64. Sum it up for us.
Yeah. Look, it was super breezy out there today, but I played a really good game plan around this golf course. I wasn't over-aggressive, as you could see, that last couple. So, I rolled a couple in, which is great. It's always nice, but I just played super consistent, and my mindset's been really good this whole week. So whatever comes tomorrow, whatever happens tomorrow is going to happen, but I'm ready.
Good man, I like the attitude. Now, let's talk about the back nine. Came home in 30 shots. That's unbelievable. In these conditions, how difficult was it out there?
No, it was tricky, the wind was blowing all over the place, it was playing about 2 clubs at one stage. So yeah, it was tricky to get it around the golf course, but again, like I said, I wasn't over aggressive on the tee boxes. I was leaving it a little bit short. If I was going to miss it, I was missing it in the right spots. So yeah, I played super smart today, and I'm very happy.
What about the shot on 15? I've seen your reaction. I think you thought that was going over onto the 17th green, didn't you?
I honestly thought that was going straight over the green, so I think it caught a bit of a gust up there and a little bit of luck my side, so yeah, happy with it.
And first but foremost, if you could bring this home, back to South Africa, what would that mean to you?
I'll be special, I don't want to get emotional, but I'm going to stay very focused tonight, and if I can bring this home for South Africa, it'll be huge for me.
Well, of course, that is Jacques speaking after the completion of round 3. And as you can see, even the birds want a taste of today's action here at the Muthaiga Golf Club. We are just at the hole 13. Remember, this is the hole where we have the hole-in-one prize of a car that costs roughly around 8.2 million. But we continue waiting to see who comes out as the winner of this year's championships. I want us to digress a bit. We get into some rugby action. Yes, the national sevens rugby team, that is Shujaa, was in action in Vancouver Sevens, in that it has not been the best of outings. They lost to Uruguay, and also they lost to Great Britain, 28-10 being the final score. So let's take a look at the highlights from that game against Great Britain.